I'm standing today in front of the University of Kentucky in Lexington. This place has a lot of significance to BICSI, an association born from a vision to create an organization to address changes in the telecommunications industry. Before BICSI was founded, a small group of people from various telephone companies and from the telecommunications manufacturers met once a year to solve problems and look at better ways to perform their jobs. One of the early participants, Harry Pfister of General Telephone Company of Florida, thought it would be good for building industry consultants, or BICS, to get together to discuss their own concerns. He approached the University of South Florida in Tampa, and with Larry Romig of the Center for Continuing Education, planned the first Building Industry Consultant Service, or BICS conference, which was held in Tampa in January of 1973. By 1974, educational meetings included BICS, architects, manufacturers, and suppliers. The idea was to formalize BICSI was initially conceived in an ad hoc meeting in January of 1974 around a table by the pool at the International Inn in Tampa, Florida, while Harry Pfister and Larry Romig were in the process of getting set up to hold their second annual BICS conference. A group of 6 persons dedicated to BICS best practices resurrected the idea of an international association for the advancement of BICS and what they believed it stood for. The pioneers were Frank Barassa, Raymond Cook, Ross Cotton, Larry Duhon, Carl Mewson, and Harry Pfister. Each of these future members or pioneers felt strongly enough for such an organization that they put up money out of their own pocket to start it off. It had been tried before in the 1960s, however, it didn't flourish back then. In June of 1974, in a presentation at a BICS conference, Larry Duhon offered the name BICSI to a group of engineers assembled in the Knights Room here at the Carnahan House at the University of Kentucky. He made a pitch for a new association that would allow BICS engineers to have a voice within their industry. He also wrote original bylaws for the association, which he left with Ray Cook, BICS engineer for GTE of Kentucky, and with Dean David Blythe, Dean of Education at the University of Kentucky. Dean Blythe used his office here as a center for the beginnings of BICSI as an international association. The first constitution and bylaws were approved on May 15, 1975, and the first newsletter was issued in October of that same year under the direction and leadership of BICSI's first president, Donald Doyle. On June 14 through 17, in 1976, about 75 members of the Building Industry Consultant Service met at the Carnahan House here on the campus of the University of Kentucky. It was co-sponsored by the newly formed association, now called the Building Industry Consultant Service International, or BICSI, and the University of Kentucky. Registrants qualified for continuing education credits from the university. In their desire to find new members, BICSI posted an advertisement into the Telephone Engineer and Management magazine on August of 1976, seeking all persons involved in building communications design and planning. In 1977, BICSI was incorporated as the Building Industry Consulting Service International, with the official address of the corporation listed here as the Office of Continuing Education, College of Engineering, University of Kentucky. The founding members listed in the Articles of Incorporation were Donald Doyle, Raymond Cook, Frank Barassa, and Harry Pfister. At the January 1980 conference in Tampa, BICSI's executive committee named Larry Romig as its first executive secretary, and the University of South Florida provided office space for the new association. Membership during that Tampa conference had risen to 132 members. A lot has happened to BICSI over the nearly 40 years since the first BICS conference that was held in Tampa in 1973. The membership has grown to more than 15,000, with 19,000 credential holders and over 100,000 students trained globally. In September of 1991, the BICSI executive offices moved from the USF campus into an independent office in Tampa. With the move came a dedicated staff who handled only BICSI concerns. In 1997, BICSI constructed and occupied our own headquarters building, which you see behind me now. This 45,000 square foot structure serves as the nerve center for BICSI's operations, which span nearly 100 countries and 6 continents. BICSI has grown in other areas as well. Today, BICSI publishes 7 design reference manuals, the first of which, the TDMM, is in its 12th edition. In 1999, BICSI became an ANSI-accredited, consensus-based standards development organization. In 2001, in association with ANSI and NECA, BICSI released its first standard for installing commercial building telecommunications cabling. Since then, BICSI has created and published 3 additional standards, including the Information Transport Systems Design Standard for K-12 educational institutions and the Data Center Design and Implementation Best Practices, with more standards currently under development. The engine that produces the publications, standards, and credentials is approaching 20 standing and ad hoc committees with over 400 volunteer members. BICSI has grown as an association. Today, under the direction of John Clark Jr., CAE, Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer, BICSI employs close to 60 staff members, all committed to serving the global needs of BICSI members, stakeholders worldwide, and the information technology systems industry. Today, BICSI is regarded as a leading association, and thanks to the leadership of John Clark and his staff, have given BICSI a respect, credibility, and professional image that would have made the founders of BICSI proud. In January of 2013, we will celebrate BICSI's 40th anniversary right here at the Tampa waterfront, just a few miles from where the first BICS conference was held back in 1973. This will be a celebration of all the pioneers and dedicated volunteers who have made this organization what it is today. However, like Thomas Jefferson, I like the dreams of the future better than the history of the past. So our celebration in just 1 year will also celebrate the future of this great organization. I wanted to extend a special invitation to each of you to come celebrate BICSI's 40th anniversary with us right here in Tampa. Finally, I am proud to be associated with this great organization and all of those that I've had the privilege to work with over the last decade. We have a lot of work to do during the next couple of years, but no matter how impressive BICSI's past, we can't move forward with what work we have to do while looking back. We need the vision, wisdom, experience, and hard work of our members to continue our association's tradition of success. See you right here in 2013.